Hey kids, welcome back to Worth the Spin. I'm still your fill-in host, Jack. The other guy hasn't shown up yet. I have high hopes for him. Yeah, I told you I was going to hit a record show this weekend, and I did. First one I've been to in years. I mean, like years. It's been a very long time since I've been to one. Since I've gotten back into vinyl, I think maybe 4 years ago. My wife got me a little Crosby suitcase record player for Christmas. Kind of test the waters to see if I felt like getting back into vinyl again. At one time, I had an incredible record collection. Beatles one was just ridiculous. Anyway, so I've been kind of keeping it kind of low lately, kind of watching. I got to the point there, I was like, if there's one song on there that I really liked, I'm buying that record. And now I'm to the point of, you're only going to listen to that one song. I do attempt to listen to the whole album, but for the most part, it's just that one song. So it's kind of like, why spend the money collecting that when I can put my finances and interest into something else, like collecting different Beatles pressings I've always liked to own. So, earlier in my vinyl collecting career, let's say, before, I'm a little older than probably some of you, a little younger than maybe some of you. But, when I started collecting Beatles records and stuff, I didn't have the internet. Just what books I read in the library or at the local Walmart that I would pick up. And stuff that I heard from other people's parents. If I ever was lucky enough to go to their house, which is not very often. So I didn't have that at my fingertips. I could just, my phone, and just look up any kind of information like that. So my collection was always just mainly the U.S. releases and none of the other little odd variants and stuff like that. And wasn't worried about stereo mono. All mine were just stereo reissues. And then later on, as I got a job and started collecting the Beatles albums more than I started finding in record shops, I would find monos and stereos. And I'd buy one or the other. It didn't matter. I just wanted to fill the collection. And I managed to get all the Beatles as a band and all the single beat solo stuff, 45s, albums, stuff of that nature. And the overseas stuff, UK, and that was always just, never going to see it, never going to hear it kind of thing to me. So the closest I got was 2018 remasters that they did in the UK collection, where they tried to make that, and I agree with it, the main Beatles catalog. And that's the way it should be, because that's the way they wanted you to hear it. So that's the way it should be. So anyway, it's neat to go and see all these different pressings and, and stuff that has this little bit that's different, that little bit that's different, or the sound quality is a whole lot better on this versus the sound quality on that. And I'm still a fan of the original pressings, the original mono pressings. That's the way they were meant to be heard. They put a lot of work into those so that they would sound the way they wanted them to sound for you. So those will always be my favorite versions. But I'm good with hearing some of the more remastered and updated stuff where you actually hear Ringo's drums and stuff of that nature. I'm pretty cool with that. I don't mind that at all. My favorite stuff's always going to be the UK monos. So that is just how I feel about it. So anyway, I went, and there was not a lot of Beatles there. I was hoping there would be, but there really wasn't. Found one guy that had 2 boxes full of Beatle records. A lot of them were German or Japanese pressings, which was pretty cool. He had a few of the EMI 2-box repressed ones from the late 70s, early 80s, but he was kind of high. We're looking at like $60, $70 on a lot of those. Just a lot of different stuff. France, I've seen a lot of French stuff from France. It was weird. A lot of singles too, a lot from France. Seen a lot of singles, period, but not having my list as updated as I thought I had it. I just passed on a lot of stuff because I didn't want to buy stuff that I already had. So I mainly was looking for the few that I don't have that are in the picture sleeves of the U.S. Releases, and that was mainly kind of what I was looking for there. But some of the others, I've seen some others that came in plain Apple sleeves, and I wasn't 100% sure on what I did need, not need of them. So I just kind of passed on most of it. I didn't want to spend money. I bought 2 that I wound up actually having. So that's kind of a bummer. Well, one, I bought two that I actually have. And I bought a Hey Jude 45. I was pretty excited to get that, the U.S. version. Unfortunately, that's a repressing on that. So I'm still looking to replace that now. But it was cool to find it. And there's a lot of Apple sleeves. Everything had the Apple sleeves on, and most Apple sleeves were in really good condition. And I'm not used to seeing that. Because most of the time I go to used record stores and I see Apple sleeves are torn up or they're just missing, period. So it was cool to see those there. So I'm just going to show a little bit of what I did get. And it's not nothing great. You know, I'm still looking for that Holy Grail butcher cover. Don't think I'll ever own a butcher cover. But I hope one day too. I did see one once. I didn't get to hold it in my hand. I did see one. Though this lady came into a local record store, an older lady, trying to sell a bunch of original pressings. Rolling Stones, Led Zeppelin, the Beatles. These were her husbands who passed away. She was just trying to make some money, and the guy basically was trying to rip her off. And she's like, no, I believe these are worth more than that. I'm going to keep them. And that was a good thing, you know, and I kind of got up there and got to see it, you know, and it was, man, a real butcher cover. Not a peel, but it was a real first state butcher cover. So it was pretty awesome. But one day, who knows? So anyway, let's move on. So here's some of the ones that I picked up that I need to fill holes in my collection. So I got Get Back. I'm sure most of you are very knowledgeable of what's on what. And oh yeah, I forgot about that. And Don't Let Me Down, which is one of my all-time favorite Beatles songs. I think that should always been an A-side. This one has on here 24 Foul 4. So this might have been a jukebox copy or something. So, yeah, again, stop writing on records, people. I don't understand that. Found a lot of 45s that were written on. I mean, it's no big deal. Back then, you bought the record, you took it to somebody else's house, you wrote your name on there. So when they got all mixed up, you knew your records, you left with your stuff. Nobody ever thought, man, these records are going to be worth some money. It's like a collector thing. So it's really no big deal. It's a little pet peeve of mine, but it's really not that bad. I also picked up The Ballad of John and Yoko. And on the flip side, of course, of that one is Old Brown Shoe. And this was released. This is the first pressing. It was released at the same time as the picture sleeve one. Most of the picture sleeves were a very limited thing. So the ones with the plain black Apple sleeves got released sometimes with the picture sleeve ones. So I'm still looking for the picture sleeve for Old Brown Shoe, and one day I'll probably find it. Another one, this didn't have a picture sleeve, of course, is Something. Beyond a Classic. And followed by Come Together. Right now, over me. All right. So that's pretty awesome. These things are in really good condition, too. And I mean, look at this sleeve. Look at it. It's just a beauty, man. It's rare to find these like that in such good condition. So that's always a thrill for me. I was hoping to find some blank ones, but I think most of the ones that I've got that needed Apple sleeves, I think I found some Apple sleeves for at another place, but they were pretty beat up. But we can't have everything in life we want. But we can have this. We can have I Am the Walrus, backed with Hello Goodbye. Picture sleeve. That was nice to get that. So I think I'm only missing 4 or 5 U.S. picture sleeves right at the moment. And I'll have all of the Beatles singles in picture sleeves again. So that was pretty cool to find that. This was actually, well, this was, I was going to say it was the only, but I did find several other picture sleeve singles, but I had them all. So it was really cool to find this because I love, who don't? I Am the Walrus. And this one was pretty cool. And this one, the record's not in great condition. I haven't tried playing it yet. I haven't played any of these 45s yet. Ain't had a chance. But I cleaned it up a little bit. The back of the label had some bubbling on it. And unfortunately, with cleaning it, it came right off. So I kind of touched it when I was cleaning the record and drying it, and it kind of peeled off. So that's okay. It's whatever, man. So it's in a VJ sleeve, and that is pretty darn rare to find a VJ sleeves, and it's Do You Want to Know the Secret? Do you? Okay. Well, if you want to know the secret, it's Thank You Girl on the flip side. So yeah, finding these VJ sleeves is really cool. And if they had more of these, I would have bought ever how many they had just to get the sleeves, because these are some tough things to find. It's $5, by the way. Animal Wars, I think, was $7. Everything else was $5. One was $4. I made a deal with him for $30 for all the ones that I got, and he was happy to take my money. This one I bought, but I already have it, so that's kind of a bummer, but it's okay. Stand By Me, John Lennon. The only song I really, really, really dig off of the rock and roll album, and that's covered by Move Over Miss L, I Wish You Well. So, yeah, not crazy about the B-side. Then we have this. This is pretty awesome. I own this one, and I owned it because I found it. And it's not in the best condition, unfortunately, but it has had the original label, the John and Yoko on there. And I had just it for a long time. I didn't have the picture sleeve for it, and I found the picture sleeve. So now I have the picture sleeve for it. So that's pretty cool. Sorry, dropped my record. So the one that I got is in like mint condition. It's the translucent green. Both of these are. The other one's just a little more beat up. But this one, as you may or may not be able to tell, depending on glare, is a pretty darn mint. I would say this is about 95% mint. I haven't played it yet, so still got that. But otherwise, we'll take care of that later. It's awesome to have the picture sleeve. So that's great. I'm going to keep both 45s because they were released around the same time again with the picture sleeve and without the picture sleeve. So that makes it eligible for keeping. So that is it for my singles collection of what I picked. And like I said, if I had my head out of my hoo-hoo and had my list straightened out like I should have had but didn't have, then I could have got some more singles and filled in the rest of my collection. And I do listen to them every now and then. My wife asked me that. Are they just a collection thing, or do you actually listen to the 45s? Because 45s are a pain. You know, let's face it, they're a pain. You know, at the time when they were originally released and 45s were a big thing, you know, that's how you got your first taste of the album. So you just play that 45 over and over and over. But now you got the album, you don't have to play it over and over and over. But I do play my Beatles ones every now and then. I will start at the beginning and go all the way through and listen to them in chronological order. And like I said it before, I love listening to the Beatles in chronological order. It's just so awesome to see them start out with Love, Love Me Do, working all the way in to Sgt. Pepper and I Am the Walrus and all this other stuff. It's just an incredible in that little short amount of time. Let's move on to the albums I got. I only got 2 because I was being selective because I didn't have much cash. And really, I wouldn't mind getting some of the Japanese ones. I hear the pressings are pretty good. But I don't know, they were all like $40, $45, $50. So I figure if I buy 1 or 2 of those, then it's going to be like, man, I'm going to have to buy 1 or 2 more. And the next thing you know, well, I'm going to need all of them now in the Japanese. And I think that's kind of going overboard. But one day I may change my mind and say, you know what, I want those anyway. So we'll see. But what I did get, and I kind of got fooled a little bit on this one, got a little too excited, but he had it advertised as the 1976 UK release, which it was not, obviously, because it has a barcode on the back of it. And I kind of ignored the barcode thing. I know better. They had no barcodes in the 70s. But I went and got it anyway because I thought it was an early 82, 83 2-box EMI, and which could have had a barcode. I'm not 100% sure on that. If they had barcodes, I think they did then. But but still, I'm happy with it. It's the only record that I've got from this weekend that I've listened to because I've spent most of the time cleaning them all up and getting them in sleeves, and I didn't really have much time this morning before work and no time at all yesterday after I got home to sit and listen to anything. So this is the only one that I have actually listened to, and it is a reissue of the 76 one. And the 76 UK release, as you know, it's kind of a tricky thing because it's a copy of the American album, which is kind of a copy of the UK EP. There's a story there, And I think maybe one day we need to tell that story because it's a good story. But I got it, Magical Mystery Tour. And it is a gatefold, of course. It's nice mint. I mean, beautiful, beautiful condition. And before you say, what? There's no book in there. Ah, I beg to differ, sir. If you look in this sleeve. So the book came unattached, just the way this was released. So it's not like it was pulled loose. This is the way that it was released, is with the book unattached. So that's no big deal. So that's pretty cool. So I got that. And like I said, this is the only one I've really had time to listen to. I listened to it this morning. And I got to tell you, man, this thing, see if I can get it back in there. Sorry. This thing sounds beautiful. So this is a stereo mix. Like I said, it's kind of I don't know, depends how you look at it, third generation copy thing, but still, this thing sounds beautiful. And I'll show you the record here. Sounds great. I'm trying to get that German pressing of Magical Mystery Tour. That's the one everybody wants because that's the best sounding. So I hear. I've never heard it, but I hear. So this is like brand new mint, excellent condition. But it is an 88 reissue, I believe. So he's trying to pass it off as a 76, but see, he really doesn't know what he's talking about, or he just, some dealers, if it says 1976 on the label or on the back cover, and it just came out 2 years ago, they go first pressing 1976. And that's not the case. But still, though, for what I got 2 records for $60. He wanted more for both of these. This was $70. The other one I have here, I think he wanted $54. And I got both of them for $60. No, wait a minute. He wanted $70 for the Magical Mystery Tour. And for this other one, he wanted $70 for it. And so I talked him down. There was a lot going on. He had people both sides kind of, and I just like threw it up. Or, hey, $60 for these, I'll do that cash, And he's like, oh, man, let me see what he think. He's thinking it all out, And the other guys are asking questions, so I think he got a little confused. And, he might have sold them a little cheaper than he wanted to. But his original price was way too high for both of these. This is not a $70 album, so if you see it, it's not a $70 album. I don't know what it is, but basically both of them cost me $30, so it's worth $30. And this is great. This thing sounds fantastic. I love the mono version. I love the American fake stereo version, but this thing sounds incredible. So if you get a chance to pick this up, it is amazing. It's really good sounding. All right, so we got that. Now for the last one. I'm way excited about this. I don't know. I'm told I'm kind of leaning towards kind of bootleg, but man, it looks so dang professional. It's incredible. But then when I look it up, it says that this is an official release. Official release as in not a bootleg, but not an official release as in the Beatles okayed for it to be released. So, but yeah, this was pretty cool. This is my all-time favorite era of the Beatles, is 67 through 69. My absolute favorite time of the Beatles. I love it so much, and it's kind of a two-edged sword. I love this period; it's so incredible, and I love to spend time listening to this stuff more than the earlier stuff because their creativity during these 2 years was just amazing. But it's a very sad period for me to experience because, especially, the Get Back, Let It Be, because of the bickering and the fighting, and to see these guys who, and if you watched or if you watched the early stuff where they're 4 brothers and they're having fun and they're doing this singing thing and, life is great. And then they get to this period and they're just kind of worn out and tired and can't stand to look at one another. And John said when they broke up, it was like a divorce, Your mom and dad's fighting and the kids were like, who do I get to stay with? And that's kind of like what it's like. And you watch this and it's kind of like what it's like. There are moments, during the Get Back film that they're happy and joy-free and are creating songs and they're just dancing and it's just incredible. And then there are other times where they're just, at one another's throat and you can see that, I hate you, I can't stand being around you in their eye. So it's kind of it's a tough thing, to enjoy that period and love that period so much, and yet know that once you get into that period, you are going to see mom and dad break up, and so it's kind of a tough thing there. But it is the Get Back. So this is the Get Back. True stereo. I haven't listened to it yet, but it's in true stereo for the first time. It's a rooftop performance, just a rooftop performance, and it's a 2022 remastered version. But I'm told that this is an incredible sounding album, and I haven't had a chance to listen to it yet, so I hope to tomorrow before I go to work. So we'll take a quick look at the back of this thing. It's another picture on a rooftop, and it has your track listing there on the side. And one of the things that's really cool on here, so you got Get Back, Take 1, Get Back, Take 2, Don't Let Me Down, Take 1, I've Got a Feeling, 1 After 909. That pretty much sums up side 1. Then you have, it does have notes on here too, like Don't Let Me Down. It's Take 1, available in stereo, unedited for the first time. Let It Be Naked was edited with Take 2. So there's some different takes on here. And I'll take all the different takes of this stuff I can get because I love this, like I said, this period so much. But side 2, we start out with Dig a Pony and we go to God Save the Queen. It says complete for the first time in stereo, previously available from the Mono Nagra tapes. And I'm not sure what those are, to be honest with you. That's something I need to look into. But it finishes off with I've Got a Feeling, Don't Let Me Down, again. It's just Take 2 this time. And Get Back, Take 3. So, there's some good stuff on here. Some really good stuff on here. And I love this period. I will listen to all of these that I can get. These different takes. Because this was an incredible time for the Beatles as far as I'm concerned. This was their last public performance ever. And I love the fact that on the album at the end, you get John... I hope you've enjoyed the audition, or I wasn't. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed the audition. I hope we passed the audition. I hope we passed the audition. And it ends. And then, with that record, even though that record was released, I believe, like a month after the Beatles broke up, that booked ended. That said, the end, And I think that's pretty incredible. So this is a very neat record. I can't wait to hear it. And I'm told it's a really, really good sounding copy of these songs. And you get a couple things in here with it. Nothing super special. But you get nice little white inner sleeve to keep your record in. Unless you're me and you don't use that. You get a nice colored sleeve. Fancy laminated sleeve. All shiny and cool. Lots of pictures from the rooftop concert that you can use instead to put your record in, unless again you're me and then you don't use that either. You just slide it in the album and you use a Hudson Hi-Fi inner sleeve. And it came with this, which is so cool, and I so want to put this on the wall back here with this other stuff, but I'm not going to do it. But I really want to, so I might. And this is a poster, the Beatles on a rooftop concert. So this is very cool. I'm not a poster guy, because once you put posters up, you kind of ruin them because you got holes in them or tape stuck to them. Then you got to move them, then it messes it up again, and one thing after the other, and it's just kind of a big. At the end, you've got something. It's all crumpled up. It's got pinholes in it. It's got tape stuck to it. It's not going to go back up and look as good as it looked before, and all that. So this was pretty awesome to get. I believe it was trying to get like $75 for this, but the two that I said I wound up getting them for $30 a piece. Let's take a look at the record here. It's a colored one. I'm not a fan of colored records. It is a pinkish whatever it is. And on there you got the rooftop concert on that side. And you flip her over and you got all your pertinent info. that you need on that side. So it's a pretty awesome. I haven't got a chance. I've been researching it a little bit with what little time I've had. And I hear it's in a pretty incredible listen. So I can't wait to find out tomorrow. Probably should have listened to that before Magical Mystery Tour, but I just kind of slapped it on because when I looked it up, it comes up, that Magical Mystery Tour comes up as the German pressing that I'm looking for, which it's not, obviously, but it comes up as that, and that's kind of weird. So I think it has, from what I'm hearing, it has similarities to it, but it's not the quality of the German pressing. But it is an incredible version, though. Sounds fantastic. Right off the bat, it is just, I'm like, wow, there is a difference to this than I've ever heard from any Magical Mystery Tour that I've listened to before. And I have, I think, 4 copies. I think I have the original UK, the original mono US, the original stereo US. I have what is it? The Hi-Fi Labs, whatever that thing is, their version of it. I have that. I found that in a what was it? It was a Barry Manilow album, Barry Manilow Live, and I wasn't buying it. I was just flipping through records, and I went through and I like Barry Manilow, and I was opening it up, kind of looking at the songs that were on there, and I kind of slid the records out to take a quick look, and inside there was, this Hi-Fi Labs original pressing deal of Magical Mystery Tour, and I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. And so I said something to the guy. He goes, I don't know, I guess you get a bonus record. So I'll take Barry. And Barry was a $5 album. So Barry got traded off for $3, and I kept the Magical Mystery Tour. I do like Barry. Apparently I like $3 more than I like Barry. Sorry, Barry. But so that was what I got from the record show. There's another one coming up in July, but I can't make that. I have another commitment on that weekend. There's one in August, I believe. It's real closer to me. So I'm looking forward to going to that one. They have this one again. I'm going to go to this one again because it was a good selection. There's a lot of really good condition albums and singles. They were not in that bad a condition. And, it was some nice stuff there. If I had had maybe $300, I would have came home with a lot of stuff to fill my collections of other stuff. Eagles, Styx, ZZ Top, Molly Hatchet, stuff like that. I like to fill those because those are all favorites too. I like to listen to those when I can quite a bit. So it would have been cool to fill those. Some of the ones I was looking for, though, I didn't find. But, there's a lot of people there. I heard they were really, really busy before we got there. So they could have sold quite a bit of some of the stuff I was looking for. So anyway, that's what I found. I hope you enjoyed looking at it. I'll do a review of that Get Back later after I listen to it. I think maybe we might compare some of the different versions of Get Back, Let It Be that I have, and kind of see how this compares to some of the others that I own. So that's all I have for you this week. I want to try to get another one in because I know I've been pretty late on them. Still working on the reaction video, I guess, from someone in their teens who are listening to the Beatles for the first time. He's still listening to the albums. He's not ready yet. I told him to take his time, have a good listen, just keep notes so you don't forget what you thought about what. So I'm looking forward to us getting together and discussing that. That'll probably be a 3-part video. Depends how much he has to say. So I'm looking forward to that. So hopefully that'll be coming up here soon. I'm going to try to stay more on track with these videos. I'm going to try to do more on Wednesdays because I'm off work on Wednesdays. So all I got to do is get my Linky down here and spend 20, 30 minutes rambling in front of the phone. And I'll have a video. And hopefully you'll watch it. And hopefully, hey, fancy graphics time. Again, these things don't pay for themselves. So if you can give me a like, maybe subscribe. Hey, look at that. Fancy. I like. It's not this one, by the way. It's this one. Anyway, it's enough of that. I don't think we need to be doing that again. All right. Thanks for joining me this week. Be kind to one another. And whatever you listen to, enjoy it. But whatever you listen to it on vinyl. I'll see you next week.